I see your demons, I'm telling them it's on sight. I'm just playing, I don't fight, I do pray. I only go the way of Mr. Yahweh. Try to correct me.
Raquel's gonna answer a very intense question right now for us. Are you ready?
Sure, I am.
Do you feel that every cup you get should have a lid? This homie does not use lids on, and he's driving in the car without a lid, and now you're in the system with no lids. Why?
I trust myself.
Do you trust the cup?
I trust the cup. You're trusting the cup too, just with the lid.
I just
That
don't
means
understand why you
trust
wouldn't
yourself.
have a lid. So Raquel, the question here is, should a cup have a lid?
Yes.
Oof. Don't get me a
For
lid.
protection, you know.
Audience is saying no.
Audience is saying, you say no?
I think yes.
Boom, tiebreaker.
Just-
Lids win.
Just
And then right now,
you're gonna burn
if-
that system.
If this was
Exactly.
if this was a box of cookies, I'd be concerned because I spilled those earlier this week. But
oh my God. Okay, well, James, kick us off. Let's do it. He's in the driver's seat today.
welcome, Raquel. I cannot believe it's taken us this long to have this conversation.
I know it was too long.
Define
No, wait.
this long. How long has it been?
About 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
About, you know, it's crazy. We actually haven't known each other for 3 years. We're on our way to 3
Yeah.
years in a couple months. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, about.
I feel like I've known you for 20,
I know. We know.
and I'm 21.
I feel like
which
that. Oh yes. Okay.
No, I'm just kidding. No, but we are super excited to have you. We've gotten to see your growth since moment of inception, and you were one of the first people to ever welcome us in the industry. Literally one of the first people. And I remember because me and you started talking Spanish at the event, and then James was like that's where we inspired him to talk Spanish. That's where he said, I need to learn.
Yeah.
I have to send you the
There you go.
pictures because I know we took a picture of.
Oh my God.
You know that
That would be
first
so
picture.
nice.
That'd
You
be
don't
so
have it?
crazy.
I don't think so.
You don't have? Oh, yes, I do have a picture where we're Jody and everybody was there.
Yeah.
That'd
I
be a-
remember, who did we meet? Was it Jody that Jody brought y'all? And then I met one of you, and then you introduced me to Carla.
Yes.
And you started introducing me to, because you're like, oh, you talk Spanish? And I'm like, "Oh, Mexicano." And then, "Oh,
I know we were all surprised.
yeah, everybody's like trying to talk to me in English, and I'm like, I'm Mexican. So I'm super excited. Your growth has been a lot. I think you've been through a lot in that time frame. You've supported us since day one, so we're super excited that we can have you here. I mean, you've supported our events. You've done business with us with our news ventures. You always support our podcast. Like, you've been a blessing in our life.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
And we just wanted to start the podcast off by saying thank you.
Thank
You
you
really are a
also
blessing
for
for
your
us.
support, and I brought something for both of you
Oh,
to start.
Here we go.
About giving and also branding. So,
Yes, which, by the way, Karen spoke ridiculously highly of you.
Oh, she's so nice.
Oh,
Hey, does this have a lid? I'm just kidding.
Can you can transfer your coffee
Yeah,
to that?
I
yes,
don't
I
trust
trust
myself.
more.
I'm just
I
kidding.
trust those mugs more than I trust that.
I don't trust myself transferring it.
I would agree with that.
This is awesome.
Hey, shout out. We clean.
Clean.
We clean. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Raquel. I feel like
Actually, let's.
Yeah,
there
that's
you-
right.
Is this a little bit better?
listen, brother.
More dangerous.
I know. It's not going well. No, thank you so much. You're always so so giving and so
Yeah.
servicing. I'm actually gonna take it out because I'm a little traumatized now.
I think so too.
But I'll be drinking my
Mine's stuck
coffee
in
here.
there. I'm rolling.
Love swag. All right, Raquel. For those that don't know you, give us a quick intro of who you are, what company, where do you guys serve, and we'll get kicked off.
Thank you so much for the opportunity first to have me on your podcast. I really love your program and what you're doing, and I appreciate this invite. Well, my name is Raquel Salinas, and I'm from Mexico.
Woo,
but-
Mexico.
Yay,
Let's go.
Mexico City.
Let's go.
And I've been in Texas for the past 32 years. And I'm the owner and founder of We Clean Janitorial. However, before we have a different name. It was called Salinas Enterprise
Okay.
because I was actually doing business as a franchisee owner, not
Gotcha.
really a direct owner of a company. So that's the way I started it. So
What has been your experience on someone listening to this of franchise versus owned by you?
Well, I think actually the franchise helped me to start this business.
Okay.
I started as a day porter, just like the program, day porter, and become an entrepreneur on my own. And that experience was great. I'm blessed to have to belong to a company before that really deliver what they say they will deliver. Because most of the franchise, they say one thing, and I have heard other people say, oh, don't go with a franchise because they will take a lot of money from you. They will not deliver. But I was blessed for this company that, started me with this business. I purchased, the name and the territory.
Yeah.
And they did deliver everything. However, later on, because they start growing in the industry, they start getting a lot of franchise owners into it. It became hard for them to deliver, to give us more business, more constantly. So I have to make a decision and say, I think I need to start doing my own, because my own sales and everything, my own marketing.
Imagine over 300 cleaning executives, all under one roof, ready to connect, collaborate, and build a community. Join your hosts, James Harper and Angel Sandoval, 11 keynote speakers and 8 expert panelists sharing the blueprint to scale your life and business. Head over to event.cleaningprofits.com for all the details. For being listeners, use code CEO30 for a 30% discount. See you there.
I bet that was very interesting, because when franchises, they take care of not everything. Operations, marketing, sales, because it's in their best interest to bring you the opportunity, and then you're just doing your thing. You're getting good at productivity and cleaning productivity and people.
And that was actually the hard part, because I was used to somebody else taking care of the paperwork for me. You were right about that. I was doing the operations, and that's what I'm very good at it, operations, because that's where I started. But they were doing sales, invoicing, accounts receivable, paying us everything. The only thing we were taking care of was our taxes, of course.
Yeah.
But that's it in the operations part, and taking care of the customer service. But everything else was done by them, and it was hard. The transition for me to become, a solo owner. It was actually hard, because then I started doing my paperwork. It's overwhelmed.
That one last question, and I'll drop it in. Well, not one last question. Just got started. Thank you so much. I'm just kidding. No, the question for me here would be, how big did you grow your franchise? How big did they grow your franchise when you were like, okay, I think I need to do this on my own?
Okay. Well, to give you that,
Could be like number of
story of
employees.
that. I started the business when I was 17. Okay, right after I graduated from high school.
My God, what was I doing at 17? Surviving.
The good and the funny part and the good part at the same time was because I started thinking I was gonna be a supervisor. I wasn't thinking about cleaning, but they offered me. They put it this way: we have this offer where you're gonna be like checking the restrooms, the common areas, that everything is in order. And I said, oh, wow, that sounds interesting. That's like, I'm going to be like a supervisor checking everything. So the position was a day porter. When I arrived to the building, they gave me all of this equipment, the car with all of these chemicals, and I didn't know anything about cleaning. So they trained me, and they gave me this apron to wear, and I was only 17. I didn't want to wear this, but they, my family and my mom and my dad always told us, whenever we commit to something, to do it. Even if we don't like it, if you say something, just do it. So I was already there. I really did not like it, but I said, let me just try to see. Yeah. That was actually, I think it was like my third job. So I said, let me just try and see. So I really like it. Actually, I enjoy it to a point where the owner of that company say, I think you have, we really like what you're doing. We want for you to become one of the franchise owners of our company. So he offered me the franchise, and that's the way I started.
At what age was that? Like, how long were you working with them before they offered it?
about 6 months into that. Yeah.
Wow.
I received a good note. One day I think I posted something in Facebook about a note from the owner that told me, you're doing a great job. I don't know if you saw that post, but I still have it. I keep it because that was actually something that that's the way I start everything in my business. So it was very important.
But that
for me
was
to know
6
that.
months after you started?
Yes.
And you were 17?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I started it in April, and I was turning 18 in November 30.
So you've only been in this business for 3 years? I'm just kidding.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, James. But yeah, so in that time, it was, late 90s, going to 2000. And then the economy was very good, and there was not a lot of competition. So I remember getting contracts almost every day, like offers from them. We got a new contract. The following week, 2 more contracts. So I grew my business up to 300,000 a year with them in the first year. However, I didn't have no experience. I was very young.
Yeah.
To manage teams, being that young is kind of hard. One of my friends, Carl, asked me, why did you lost so many buildings? What is the reason you don't have those buildings anymore? Or what happened? And I told her, well, it wasn't really that service. I think it was more like the customer service. I have to, sometimes in this business, it's like, for me, it's like 70-30. 30% on service and 70 is like customer service. What kind of relationship you have with your customer? So at that time, I was going to school, I was working, and I was taking this as a part-time.
Yeah.
But actually, I should have taken this as a full-time and not a part-time because...
Where did you study in school?
I'm sorry?
What did you study?
Business.
Oh, yeah.
Business.
You got a degree in business?
Yes.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Business.
At the same time as you were... Okay.
Yes.
I believe that customer service is big on you. It's funny that you say 70-30, 70% customer service based, because for those that are listening, we just interviewed someone that's very close with Raquel that actually worked with Raquel, and Raquel was her vendor on multiple different buildings and projects. And basically the podcast was about Raquel. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But she spoke very highly of your customer service. So I see how that could be embedded in you and what you do. I have a ton of questions for you, but I want to actually start with a very basic, high-level one. Why do you love this industry? You are someone that, like, when I think of like cleaning and people that really like love the industry, you come to mind.
Mm-hmm. Well, I love it because that was actually my first business, and I was exposed to very young, and I always wanted a business. Actually, I was thinking when I was in high school, I always thought I want a business, but I didn't know exactly what to do.
Yeah.
I didn't have the money, so I say one day I will have my own business. And even at school, I got enrolled in many different clubs, like business owners, Future Business Owners of America. My teacher, that was the person that was in charge of that, club. She found me jobs in different places in my last year of my senior year. She found me a job in a law firm, and I was working with an attorney one-on-one. And she also found me another job with what was it called? The photograph studio.
Okay.
So I was exposed to different businesses, and I really like it. So when I graduate, I got this offer, and then, the owner approached me with that, and I like it. I don't like to be sitting in a desk 8 hours, which when I was working with a franchise, I worked for Nissan Motor Acceptance Corporation. This is when I started also the day porter position. They offered me a job. The HR manager said, Raquel, what are you doing cleaning? We're going to offer you a job over here in the records department. I used to work in the records department. So I worked for them for 9 years doing that, and also managing my business at the same time until the owner said, Raquel, you need to make a decision because this is killing you. I was actually at one point I was too many times late to my work, and I wasn't delivering. I was late to my work, and I wasn't doing what I was supposed to in my business. So I had to make a decision, because I don't want to be fired. I've never been fired for any job. So I didn't want to get fired. They put me in probation and say, if you one more time you're late, we're gonna have to let you go. So I say, no, I'm going to have to make a decision. So I quit my job. And since then, I have never worked back. I never worked for anybody else but me. Mm-hmm.
Hey, are you ready to challenge yourself? Mark your calendars for the event of the year, the Cleaning Profits Takeover Edition, happening in Denver, Colorado from September 24 to 26. Head over to event.cleaningprofits.com for all the details. For being listeners, use code CEO30 for a 30% discount. See you there.
So, and that's where I got my passion, because I love business and I developed a love for that industry.
Why do you work so hard?
I love working. I'm a workaholic.
But why though? Is there a reason?
I just love.
Like
and that's a good question, Angel, that you asking me.
Because you work hard.
Yeah.
Like I'm not.
Yeah.
Like I think I work hard, but then I see you and I'm like, yo, you work hard.
Yeah, we've seen a different side of you this week.
Yeah,
We've got to
Thank
hang
you.
out.
Hey,
with
like
you.
at the back end, right? Like we get
Yeah.
to see the insight,
Yeah.
but you work a lot.
Yes.
And I don't mean just like hard. I just mean like quantity of time as well. So I find it very interesting because I wonder where that mentality comes from, or if you just legit just love working. Because there's some people that just love working.
I love working, and that's a good question, Angel, because 3 years ago, I was actually working even more. To me, at that time,
How?
What?
How do you have
like at
40
a
hours
plan.
in a day?
I know that before, to me, success was like only making money, right? It wasn't about having time, spare time for other things. I was making actually very good money back 4 years ago because I was working almost 24 hours. However, I noticed that, yes, I was making money, but I wasn't growing my company because I was just focusing on doing physical work, not focusing on growing, seeking better opportunities for my business. So, I stopped that and said, no, this is not success. Even though I'm making, $30,000 for myself a month, $40,000 for myself, but I'm killing myself. I'm not enjoying life. I'm not with my kids every day. So I need to do something. And actually, that's when I start seeking help in a lot of different social media platforms,
It
and
was 3 years ago?
Yes,
About 3 years ago?
4 years ago. I started seeing other people doing different things, using different systems, structures. I say, I need to do that. I need to do that for myself, and I know I can do it. So, it took me a while because everything takes steps to get to whatever you want. And I was able to start accomplishing that. Right now, I know it seems like I'm still busy, but not compared to anything that I was 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, actually, not 3 or 4 years ago. I mean, this was like
Been working for a while.
20 to 25 years doing this exactly the same way. And, it also was rewarding because it exposed me to different industries at the same time. I was doing manually everything physically. I was there present for everything. I learned a lot from different industries, getting exposed to retail, the retail part, medical. So, I got exposed to different industries at the same time, and I was learning everything on my own. I was learning to do floors, carpet, all kinds of things that, that it requires for us to do. So I was doing everything.
I was going to say, probably by doing everything, though, I would assume that that's had to have helped you to get to where you're at now, especially with you developing your team. But I have a question. So you said you answered in the past, success was only about making money. What's success for you now?
Balance. To have a balance and continue making money, but have a balance in life, especially spending more time with family, friends. I didn't have a lot of friends before because I was,
What?
What? Don't lie.
No, I used,
Raquel, the
what?
social butterfly.
I know that there was. I mean, everybody knew since the beginning. Everybody told me, let's go for dinner, let's go out. But they get tired of asking me because I always say, oh, I'm tired. I'm sleeping. They even gave me a name, La Viejilla, you know? It's like, what? You know, they call me because I was like only sleeping, doing anything.
That means the old lady.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's the old lady, you know? I was like, oh my God, what are you calling me that? Because you don't do anything. You just work, go to sleep, go to sleep. So for a lot of years, I felt like I spent the best years, my younger years, just working. But I didn't regret anything because I learned a lot. I'm still young, but I'm still young, but I still have a lot of experience because I got, like I say, at the same time, I got exposed to a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
I was blessed to work also with a lot of national companies. And, you know, I got all kinds of experience with everybody because, you know, I learned from how they do business and, you know.
Yeah.
And again, yes, I was doing it in the wrong way because I should not do this on my own, you know, trying to learn everything, trying to learn how to do floors, how to correct carpet color. I should just have somebody to do it for me and then, you know, bring that information to us. But I was actually, like I say, again, going back to success to me was that. Mm-hmm.
I think like I would be careful with using the words like, "Oh, my best years," because I actually do hear a lot of people say that. I was like if the young years were supposed to somehow be the best years, and it's like, I don't know who. I think about it. I don't know who made that.
Yeah,
up.
like my 20s were rough.
Yeah, that was like tough. But if I would have been more applied like you were during my younger,
It's just younger.
20s, is that what you
Just
call it?
age,
Younger.
yeah.
I think I would be way more ahead now. These would have been my best years. I think a lot of people do it backwards. So I actually think you did it. I don't know if there's a right or wrong way, but I think your best years are yet to come. So I would just not label that as best years.
And I feel that way now. I mean, knowing a lot of people now in the industry that doing the same thing as I'm doing, I feel like, I mean, it's like my family to me. You know, I have a new family. Both of you, I consider you as my family. Carla.
You adopted us, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Muchas gracias.
so I enjoy it more now. And I also, you know, see what you're doing. And I wanted to apply it to my company also, you know. What is that you're doing to have more time? What is that you're doing to make your, you know, your business successful? So it has helped me now. I think I'm now living my best years.
You know what I respect about you, Raquel, is like you are a participant. Now, let me be clear on like what I mean by that. A lot of people could easily be like, let's say the cleaning industry, it's a game. They can be at the game. They can be on the sideline, but you're always participating. You're always like engaging. And by doing that, like you've always striked me as a learner. Since you're participating, when you participate and you engage, you're always learning. And I've always appreciated that about you. And I think that has a lot to play with your attitude, your success, and then like the change that we've personally seen over 3 years.
Yes.
I think just by you participating and always engaging and always learning, that's leveled you up. So that just came to my heart, and I felt like I had to speak that. But you're always a participant.
Thank you. Thank you
And
so much.
And you're just getting started.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the good news.
Exactly.
I mean, I don't know if there's been obviously there's a lot of lessons and a lot of fails that we all have, a lot of falls, but I don't think I think recently from I don't know, I want to say the last 6 months, so like maybe last year, you've been seeing like your role with a lot of grace. Like you seem more at peace now than you've seen before.
Yeah.
Which is very cool. So like, let me ask you what changed in the last, and I want to say last 12 months, because I remember the first event, definitely not at peace, trying to figure it out, right? But you were trying, you were learning, like you said, always like, I wonder what's next. And then like last 12 months, it was just like, oh, like a new person. And now you got like your sales game is on point. You're bringing in the right people into the company. Your company grows fast for such a small leadership team, which is basically you.
Correct.
You are the leadership team.
Yes.
And your COO, CEO, and CFO. Like you do all roles. Yet you're scaling at a level that some people would require a full team for. So I'm just excited for when you're not the whole executive team, because if that is what you can do on your own, I'm excited what you can do when other people are around. But what changed in the last 6-12 months? Has anything changed? Maybe nothing changed.
Oh, yes. Well, what happened to me in the past 2 years, I have a few challenges in my company. From going to an audit through having the wrong people around my business. So I decided, okay, I need to do something different. I mean, it's like a red flag everywhere. I need to I need to watch for those red flags. So what gave me peace, first of all, is to get closer to God, be more spiritual, believe in that He is the only holy person that can guide me. And I have always been, spiritual, but not as closer to this time. I was raised in a Christian family all of our lives. And I mean, it also helped because it kind of shaped us to where we are right now. My mom always told us, encouraged us to go to church, to my dad, and, to read the Bible, pray every night. But, when I got very busy with the business, I stopped going to church, attending to church. So, that got me far from my beliefs, from my spiritual side. But then I say, no, I had to go back, because this is what I need to grow, to be in peace with God and to find His guidance. I have heard some of the podcasts where you ask people, what is your favorite book? What is your favorite, coach or mentor? To me, my favorite book is the Bible because it tells you everything.
Come on.
It tells you, sometimes we seek in other places and we have it right there in front of us. We have a mentor in there. We have a business owner in there because, a lot of, people in the Bible, they were, rich people, they were poor people, all kinds of, people that right now we had in our society. 100%. But everything, all of the answers that they needed was in God, So to me, that's been the success, getting closer to God, forgive people that hurt me, and be closer to my family, and of course, continue learning and hanging with the right people, bringing people into my life that care for me, and that I prefer to have 2 people that care for me than having 100 people that they don't care for me,
Yeah.
So it's cool to see that you haven't said anything about business. So that's the beauty of it. I think you hit it right on the spot. I think the Bible 100% best book, and I think best mentor is Jesus Christ, our God. He is, and He consoles too. Yes. I don't know if I can call my mentors and get them to hug me when I'm going through a crisis. He can. So it's beautiful. So I love that you got closer. Again, we talked. Who we're talking to? I think it was Rocky. Like, you got better at who you are. You centered yourself in Christ, and everything else kind of
it worked out. And that's why that's His promise. Ask, and I will deliver. Ask anything you want, and I'll be there for you. So faith for me, it's the most important thing, and I have seen results actually.
Good.
Come on, say. Yes.
Hey, what's up, guys? Today's episode is brought to you by Cinch. If you're ready to take your commercial cleaning business to the next level, we have you covered. Maybe you're struggling with how to bid, how to create professional-looking proposals, or just how to ensure your customers' accounts are actually being cleaned at night. Introducing Cinch Janitorial Software. Cinch is a simple, user-friendly software that eliminates these types of struggles that you probably know all too well. Cinch simplifies your entire process and will supercharge your success because they remove paperwork headaches while creating a scalable, efficient, and profitable cleaning business. Get your free demo of Cinch at cleancinch.com. They're here to turn your business into a success story. That's cleancinch, CINCH.com. It's simple, it's Cinch. So, I have a few industry-specific questions because your business has always intrigued me, Raquel. Mainly because I knew a little bit about your background and your experience, and then I've always just heard about Raquel and everything you do. And then this trip we've been on this time, it's just been amplified. People have spoken wonders about you. You said you went through an audit.
Mm-hmm.
When you say an audit, explain to the audience. I think I know what you mean by that, but explain to the audience what you mean.
Okay, this audit came from the Department of Labor. It was around June 2022 when I got a phone call from them. Well, actually, they tried to reach me through another person first. And that person told me, Raquel, Department of Labor is looking for you. I was like, why? You know, what did I do? I mean, why would they do that?
Yeah.
And, it was funny because 2 months prior to that, someone in our cycle of, that business and, all of that groups we have in Facebook, someone posted about Department of Labor, rules and, to be careful with certain, how we classify our employees, our contractors. And I kind of like, when I read that post, it kind of stuck in my mind, like, oh my God, I hope nothing happened like that to me ever, And then 2 months after, they were looking for me. It was hard. It was very hard when I didn't want to call, but I said I need to because they gave me a phone number. They said, you need to call this person because they're looking for you. So I was thinking, should I call or not? I was like thinking, I prayed before. I said, I need to pray. And it was I remember it was like a Friday that I tried to call and I wasn't able to get hold of this person, the investigator. Well, actually, they gave me a number to call like a customer service. And it wasn't really the investigator at that time. So I called and she told me that that they got a report from someone that they believe I wasn't complying with the rules.
Yeah.
So she was very tough. I can tell, when you're talking to people like from the IRS or anything, any type of government identity, they can like very tough, they can ask you very hard questions. So I say, well, what is that I need to do? What is next? And she say, well, you need to send me I'm going to assign you case to your Dallas office because, I think she was in California, but she was a customer service representative. So she said, I need to assign you to that person that was looking for you. So she gave me the number. I got in contact with him. He was a guy. I got in contact with him on Monday. And he told me, you need to send me, I'm going to give you a link. You need to send me all of your records for the past 3 years of everybody. Time cards, anything that you have, payroll, paperwork, everything. I need it. And I was so devastated. I was thinking in that moment that I'm going to be out of business in no time.
Yeah.
And I wasn't thinking because I wasn't thinking that because I was doing something wrong, but just about talking, when people say about audits and all of that, it scares you.
Absolutely.
It scares you. You don't know what this is going.
Well, and it also tests out like the systems and the processes that you have because a lot
That's
of people,
right.
You're like running around, you're not really keeping up with it, and then one day they ask you and you're like,
what should I do?
Yeah.
Do I have everything I need?
Yeah.
Thank God that at that time I was implementing a software already for like a year.
Nice.
The rest, I have it like in spreadsheets and things like that. Actually, it wasn't that bad. And the paperwork, it was just tons of paperwork. Yes, it was tons of, I had to print a lot. But it wasn't really that. It was their questions, their interviews that they did to me. I say, I need protection. I need to get myself a lawyer because they were getting so tough on everything that they were doing. And they were like telling me, we can go to your office now if we want to and get everything from you. So please forward everything to us and to this link because, if we don't get it on time, we can just go to the office and kind of like confiscate all of your,
just go through it.
Equipment. And so I consulted a lawyer, and it was hard because those lawyers, they want big cases, like multi-million companies, they can pay them, millions, not millions, but thousands of dollars a month on fees. So I was blessed to have this lawyer that I was referred from this huge lawyer, have a huge firm in Dallas. He forwarded this case to a lawyer in Houston. So he got my case, but it wasn't that cheap either. It was like $450 an hour for his fees. So it wasn't that cheap, but I needed protection. So he says, stop talking to them. I'll take care from here. To make the story short, it took me a year and a half to get out of this audit. And that's what I think when I met you, when I met both of you. I know that, I remember, Angel, that you were inviting me for your first event.
Yeah.
And I wasn't very interested. I was like, not because of the event, but I was like very down at that time.
You were going
I don't
through
know.
life.
I think you even told me, do you need any help or something like that? I remember. You want me to pray for you? I remember. So.
And then you went.
I think that's
and
important.
it was amazing.
Yeah, I think that's important for people to hear what that process looks like. A lot of people, one, thank you for sharing that. A lot of people wouldn't share that. And two, I think it's really important for people to be aware of it. Right? So.
Yeah, and like I say, now, I mean, I took it hard because it was something new to me. But as long as we have all of the information that they needed, you know, later on, I mean, it became like something part of my business already, because they were like calling me 3 months later, you know, we need this. Okay, my lawyer, I need to send this. It became easier by that time, you know, later. But in the beginning, it was hard, of course. And of course, I have it all the time, like, oh my God, they're still there.
Yeah.
And the thing that it took longer was because the first investigator retired in the middle of my my audit. So again, we have to start a new process with another person. And that second person asked for more information. The first person asked for certain people, like 35 people, I remember. And this other person asked for everything, for everybody. And it took longer because they interview you people. You have to provide them with phone numbers, emails, and they will interview them to see if they find something else. You know, are you getting paid on time? Are they paying you all of your hours? Are they paying you overtime? They ask them all kinds of questions. So it was hard because I trust my people. I never did anything wrong to them to make me think, okay, they're going to say something about me. However, you know, when people get those kind of opportunities to talk to somebody that wanted to listen to them, or to probably, if they have a concern on their back and their mind,
you haven't.
Yeah, you just never know.
they're going to say, oh, I think I can get some money out of here. Oh no, she never paid me this. She never. I mean, I didn't say that. They say that, but it can go that way. Too, you know. So it was hard. Like, we're gonna interview people, and I start getting calls from my people and say, oh, we got a call from this person, and they ask us a few questions. And I never coach my people to say something. I mean, I didn't coach them to say these things. Talk about me the best what you can. You cannot do that to them. And I trust that I wasn't doing anything wrong. So I say whatever they want to ask them, they're going to ask them. Whatever they want to say, it's okay with me. I was trusting God that I never did anything wrong. So I say, go ahead, call my people. And they called them like 3 times, actually. Because the first time, the original investigator called them. And then there was another time that they called them again. For some reason, they called them a 3rd time. So it was hard because I don't know the outcome of this. But I knew in my back of my mind that I wasn't doing anything wrong, that they could not find anything wrong, which, you know, at the end, they did not. Of course, because of how the industry is managed, it sounds like I was not paying them overtime because, you know, I was giving them different projects on the same day. So Department of Labor, their laws are like very tough, you know, like, okay, if you make them work from 2:00 p.m. till 12, they say that they
that's
use
considered overtime.
They say, well, just all these hours, But no, they were going to different projects. They were going home, take a break. They were taking lunches. They were doing this on their own time. You know, they were not like, I have a set time for them. However, Department of Labor laws are like, still, they're working for the same company. So yes, it's considered overtime. So there were few people, probably a total of 29 people that I had to pay overtime that I never got the money from any of the companies that I was billing or I was servicing at that time.
Well, listen, y'all, if y'all don't have access to your information, or you're just running on paper and you're losing them, and you're not, what is it called? Putting the right title, like if they're W-2 versus 1099, if you're not identifying them properly, one day there could be an audit, and if you're not prepared, it will get you. But no, yeah, thanks for sharing that. I really do appreciate that. Kind of want to move away from that, if that's cool with you guys. You have had success in closing a lot of contracts, especially like in the last, like
a year and a half.
Yeah. You figured out how to sell. You have Leda, which you guys figured out how to prospect. Now you guys figured out how to close, and now it's like a little machine. But you also close very interesting buildings, very different types of buildings. I think that's where your expertise comes in. I know you clean areas or places that a lot of companies wouldn't want to, or wouldn't even just not be down. And then or customers with very high expectations and very detail oriented, right?
Correct.
So I would love to talk about how you how do you know what you should clean, what you shouldn't clean? How do people discern that when they're going to a walkthrough? And give us let's talk a little sales, because you're obviously closing contracts left and right.
Yes.
You got to figure out that secret sauce.
That's a very important question, and I really want to talk about that because of the experience that I have in the past as well. As I say, and I keep telling, my peers, I keep telling different people, answering also questions on Facebook when people ask those kind of things. I believe that not every building is for every company, and I've been through there many times. The way now that I identify what I want, it's that industries that does not require a lot of licenses, like sanitation licenses or, anything that it can put us like in a liability situation, I preferred, offices that are, not too big offices. I kind of, my square footage will be between 2,000 and probably 100,000. To me, that's the best buildings because you can get more money out of those than having huge buildings like 12, 20 floor buildings. That's I think and I'm sure everybody will agree. That as you get a building that is large, you have to give in less. I mean, you have to give it like a discount. That the square footage has to be less per square footage. Less money. So to me, the ideal, it's not to go over 100K and have 20 of those or 30. It will end up giving you that same revenue as you were having, a multi-tenant building.
Yeah.
So. That success, like to me, in the past year, is just picking the right customer. Sometimes, people don't want to go away from their area. I love going away from the area all the time. If there is opportunity, I may have a building right now that is no more than $1,000, but I see the big picture on it. I see that particular building have like 300 locations that I can get in the future if I do the right way in this small building. And this is what is happening with one of our buildings right now that we just recently got in January. It's a very small building. It's like in the middle of nowhere. It's like in a lake. It's an energy plant. However, they have almost 300 locations. Even they have one building like almost in front of my home. That is around, I will say around 300K square footage, but it's office areas, which is, I love those buildings because there is not too much, things to do there. And I'm kind of like looking into that building, and we already talked actually with the customer, and they say, yeah, we may give you already in our vendor list. We are going to continue giving you more businesses. So, a lot of people say, oh, it's $1,000, it's a $1,200 account. I don't want it. But that can open you for big opportunities. And actually that happened to me 5 years ago with a customer, Karen. In 2018, she called me and say, Raquel, I'm calling because I want you to clean this restroom floor. It was almost, very small. I think it's smaller than this room. And it was going to take me maybe like 30 minutes. And, say, I'm going to charge her how much? I cannot charge her a lot. So I think she paid us for that restroom like $150. However, she really liked it. And she told me, you're the only company that wanted to come to do this restroom for me. Not even my company that I have, the current company working with me, wanted to do it. But, I'm taking new bids for next year, and I want you to send me your proposal. So I end up sending her my proposal, and she awarded us almost $5 million on contracts.
Because of $150 restroom. Y'all,
yes.
$150 restroom clean that no other company said yes to turned into a $5 million contract.
Yes. And
you can listen to Karen's podcast where she mentions Raquel. So this actually like connects completely, which I know she ended up taking you to like other locations, and she took you as her preferred vendor. I didn't know that it was because she kept calling companies. No one wanted to take a $150 job, but she basically was doing it as a test to see who she could trust as a vendor. She's like, oh, you took it, so you opened up a spot for, come on over and bid.
Yeah, and not only
That's
that,
wild.
and I didn't even know she noticed that until actually 5 years later when we're now talking. She's my friend. It's a blessing that a customer, a previous customer, now I can call my friend.
Yeah.
It's a very,
Absolutely.
it's a very blessing. And she told me now, I did notice that you clean my spots on the carpet too. I said, me? Or did you notice
She
that?
did. She talked about it in the podcast.
She talked about that on the podcast.
She said, I did, and I didn't even say anything to her. I just noticed it, that there were like a trail of spots. And I said, well, might as well I have the machine here. I'm just going to do it for her because it doesn't look good. And I know she was going to have some type of visitors coming. So that's why she wanted that restroom clean. So I said, I'm going to take those spots. And it took me like 10 minutes to bonnet. I used my bonnet and take it. And she was very happy. I know now, 5 years later. But so, you have to look small opportunities to get your foot in a big opportunity. Because sometimes you never know what can that contract brings you. And I'm that kind of person. Whenever I seek opportunities, even I work with a lot of, national companies as well. I do my direct contracts. However, I also service, I do subcontracting with a lot of national companies. So whenever I seek jobs with them, I have a really good relationship. I'm talking about this about 17, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Whenever I interview with them, I used to tell them, just give me anything you have. I don't care if it's small, big, I take it, And they tell me, just because you told me this, a year ago, and you took something that nobody wanted, now I'm going to award you this $100K a month building because you took something that nobody wanted, and I can see that you are very committed, that you wanted to work hard. Doesn't matter, if it's a small or big building. And that's what I used to tell them, just give me anything. I really don't care if it's 2 hours. I used to clean, actually, I remember before COVID, I used to clean a building like it was an hour and a half from here. And it was 3 times a week. And now recently I was looking into my invoices and I said, oh my God, I got paid this much only. it was like a less than $1,000 a month. And I was driving almost 3 times a week to that. However, I don't regret anything because with that company, I have produced them also millions of dollars. I have worked with them as a subcontractors for them. And, I'm proud to say that I have produced them millions of dollars for them. So, a lot of companies, reach out to me all the time. Can you work for us? I mean, even now, I have worked with the owner of this studio, which is Dan. I have known him for 17 years. So I have worked also doing subcontracting for him. So, relationships, you don't know what it can bring you, those type of things, you may see that it's a small job, but it can bring you big success.
But I don't think a lot of people see business that way, and it's so annoying because they don't see it that way. I understand that when there's a certain size where you get to a certain size, right? You can't keep taking the smaller ones because it's just not profitable. But when you're not over 5 million or something, like, you should be build a relationship, get in there, get tested, do your thing, because it does turn into
something.
A lot of the times it does turn into business, but most people are not willing to look at it that way.
Well, to me, if it does not work out in a year or two, and if I keep having problems, like, okay, I cannot crew this building because it's so small, and I don't see opportunities later, then I can say, okay, let's just let it go. Yeah, I'm out.
Yeah.
But I'll always like to try. And a lot of people ask me, maybe that's why you have taken longer to grow, And to me, like I say, I'm not competing with nobody. I don't see other businesses, oh my God, they're doing better than I do. I think I am where I'm supposed to be right now, And I'm very proud of what I'm doing. Like you say, in the very beginning, if I was able to do all of this by myself, because practically I was doing everything by myself. And of course, I have a team, I have team leads that on sites, I have my team. I mean, it's important to me because without them, I cannot do this, right?
Yeah.
However, I was a person that was, doing the sales, the visits to my customers. I was covering for people that wasn't showing up. So I think now that I have the correct people, and we're going to continue, hiring the correct people. Now that I have Leida, she has helped me a lot. Now that I have Miss Karen. So I think it's for me, it's a blessing to have both of them, and we're going to do great things together.
Where do you think WeClean was the next step, the next phase for WeClean?
Well,
how big do you think you can get it? Or do you have goals like that?
Yes, I do. I have, to me, my company, I wanted to continue build my company in God's principles first, family around, and also with my team. I want my team to succeed along with me. And that's what I keep saying this years before, but nobody wants to take this opportunity. I wish I have somebody that told me, in 1998 when I started this business, hey, Raquel, I'm going to help you. I'm going to teach you. I'm going to hold your hand and teach you how to do this. Nobody did. All of these years I was doing this, even though I was with the franchise, but I guess also they were new to the industry. And of course, we didn't have these kind of things we have now, these softwares. I know we have internet. Of course, I'm not that old. But it wasn't like this, like now,
Yeah.
They did give us some training and everything, but I felt that I wasn't trained properly, compared to what we have now. And I still have the franchise, actually. Just to mention that, I still own the franchise.
Wait, what?
Yes.
With active? What?
It's an active.
With active accounts?
Yes. I still have 10 buildings. I still have 10 buildings from them. The owner knows that I'm doing my own company because I asked him that I was getting what I wanted to be getting with his company.
Not expecting that.
And he's my friend, actually. We became friends through the years. Now he retired. He didn't sold the company, but he sold the rights to it calls like a master franchise.
Agreement. Yeah.
So the territory, right? So he say, I'm leaving to Turkey to go and to the mountains, enjoy my life and just do whatever you want. I mean, I know that you've been with us. You've been very loyal to us for so many years. and you have to seek your own path. And
When are you done with the franchise, or why?
well, every 10 years that we had to renew contracts. So with them. So I still renew it because I mean, I can sell that franchise and I get a lot of money. So I still have it. I'm not going to say the name because I wanted to respect their privacy.
Can you technically sell it to yourself?
No.
Or you have to like remove the
Yeah, no, it will
you
be
can't
more.
sell the accounts, right? You have to sell the franchise.
Yes, I have to sell the franchise, but to me, it's like I'm a baby, you know. It's my first thing that I started. I struggle. A lot of people say, "Why you don't sell it? You don't need them anymore." But to me, it's like holding something from my past that that is something that I started it when I was very young, and it gives me also. It gave me a lot of success too, you know. I mean, I was able to pay my bills. I was able to go to school. I was able to, do a lot of things, buy a new car every year. I was spending actually a lot of money on that.
Do you think holding onto the franchise is holding you back from scaling weekly?
No, because it's an autopilot already. It's buildings that I have for a long time. I've been losing buildings because they've been moving. So I think at that time when everybody moves or cancel, this is it. I may sell only the name to whoever wants to get a license, but the buildings are going to go away on their own.
Yeah, exactly. Like, might as well.
That's a good.
Let it run
way
out.
To just
Yes,
let it run
because it doesn't bother me. I'm still. Sometimes, I forget I have it. I have my deposits. Oh my God, that's from my franchise. That's the money coming from them. And sometimes I'm like, oh my God, I need money. Oh, tomorrow I'm getting paid from them because, they pay us on time, all the time, on the 15th. And I sometimes I forget I'm getting that money. It's like, I want to have more money. I didn't have this yesterday. Oh, my franchise, Yeah. So it's been rewarding. I really love them. In their website, they still have me as I did give them a testimonial long time ago, and I can still see my name in there. And it's very rewarding. I think one day I posted a picture of me cleaning windows in a very, very nice dealership that is in here in Dallas. It used to call, what is it called? Oh my God, I'm sorry, I forgot. I was going to say. They sell like Jaguars and Hummers. At the time when the Hummers was like coming out, oh my God, it was so nice. So they gave me like I was kind of like the model for their brochure, so I still have that, and it was very rewarding. I mean, I have nothing bad to say about this franchise because it helped me a lot to scale to where I am. It gives me the opportunity. I learned a lot from them to do floor work and carpet. Yes, I did learn that from them, and a lot of people say they have bad experiences. Again, I'm repeating the same thing that from other franchise. But to me, this was a blessing. They never did anything wrong to me. Yeah. I have nothing. They always pay me on time. And of course, we have to pay royalties. It's just like anybody. You have to pay royalties because it's their business. So I didn't mind paying my royalty fees and all of that. But it was a rewarding experience. And, I will have it until the end, until everybody's gone and retire.
Hey. I mean, if it's an autopilot.
Yeah,
yes, it is. I mean, I don't, to tell you, and I'm sorry when I say this, it's not good, but to tell you the truth, I have not visited those customers like in years. I always communicate with them by email because we have our own operation teams from the franchise visiting them. So I have not, and that's not good. I should be visiting them. Well, but they're like a lot of.
Should you be?
Yeah, I should. No, you have to. You have.
No, but I think there comes a point where you become CEO and you don't go and visit all of them.
And I still do with my other ones. I do, but I have so much trust on them. I know that we have the teams from so many years that they have become like kind of my supervisors. They talk to my team. Oh, you know what? They're gonna move from this location to another location. It's like it's an autopilot. That's what I'm calling. I don't really need to visit them because I have the teams taking care of them.
Mm-hmm. That's a great thing. What's up, Profitable Cleaner listeners? Quick question for you. Are you using 5 to 7 different platforms just to manage the everyday operations of your commercial cleaning company? If so, let us help you consolidate that into one platform. Introducing you, uSource. Go to usource.com, book your free demo today, and actually get started on your trial for 60 days. no charge for 60 days, all from time and attendance to reporting, vendor management, operations, sales. It's time you stop using 5 to 7 platforms and consolidate into one. So listeners, don't forget, go to usource.com and start your account today.
All right, so I think it's unique because you do direct work and you also do subcontracting work. I want you to maybe tell the audience, some people out there who may be thinking about doing subcontracting, how this is a good subcontractor to be working with and working for. I've obviously seen your relationship with Dan, for instance. You guys have been doing business together for 15, 16 years. You guys are really good at that. What are you looking for with a subcontracting company?
Or the contractor, right?
Yeah, or the contractor. I'm
National.
sorry. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the relationships that I have built, they've been, long time ago relationships, like you just mentioned, 14, 17 years. When I interview with them, I try to see their website to see, what kind of business they're handling, what people have to say about them. And also, when I interview with them, I always try to be very transparent with them. Like, what is the expectations, what I want. And also, I read very careful their contracts because sometimes, it can be, different things that we may not understand. And I have been blessed, again, to have work. I only work, right now, currently, I'm only working with 6 different companies that I have been doing business for up to 20 years with them. And my newest, recently, probably I have 5 years with them. And there has been experiences, bad experiences too, that I have with national companies. However, when I start seeing red flags, what is that this is going, I try to stop, there and just call it. Always giving my 30-day notice. It's important to always leave the door open. Doesn't matter if you don't like it or, if that person or those people did wrong to you or not. To me, I never burn bridges with them. And so my relationships, like I say, with them have been great because I follow the rules. It's important to follow the rules, respect their contracts. A lot of people may try to get the contracts from them or steal contracts from them. I'm a very ethical person. I will never do that. I always follow the rules. I respect their boundaries. I try to always inform them of what is going on, giving reports. And I think that's been, to me, that's the success I've been having with them, and that's why they keep coming back. They keep adding more contracts to me because I'm that kind of my company, not only me, but my company is that kind of company that respects and give the best, as if it was my direct contracts.
So if someone was looking to maybe grow their company a little bit more, would you recommend them to maybe look to be a subcontractor? Would you recommend against
at what size maybe?
Yeah, at what size? Yeah.
To me, what I will do if I wanted to start a company or if I wanted to add, like you said, to my portfolio, yes, I will recommend to subcontract with somebody because I look at it this way, Angel and James. Whenever we get a direct contract ourselves, you are spending money on marketing, you're spending money on insurance, you're spending money on trying to get the money, invoicing, receivables, inspections. Sure. So to me, and maybe a lot of people don't see it that way, to me, even when I do subcontracting, compared if I do my own direct contracts, it's not a lot of difference of the money. Probably maybe 5 to 10% maybe that I'm getting more from having my direct contract because they're doing everything for you. They're doing practically everything for you. I mean, some national companies will even also get their own insurance to cover you as an umbrella to your business. Yeah. So you don't have to spend that kind of money. They're already doing that for you. You don't have to do marketing and yourself because they're already bringing the contracts to you. Some of them, they even send their inspectors to do that kind of job, to tell you what are you doing wrong in that building. So at the end of the day, it's almost like it doesn't make, it's not a lot of difference, you know? You are spending that money to get that contract, and they're spending that money to get that contract, and I'm going to, deduct from that contract 35% because of what I have spent in marketing, everything, and they're doing the same thing. So, to me, it's a win-win for all the time, But like I said, a lot of people don't see it that way because they want to have their direct contracts all the time, and that's great. I wanted that too. But if you are a person that wanted to start your new company, I always recommend to work for that company or do subcontracting because that's gonna take you to be more successful. You will learn from their faults. You will learn their systems. You will learn how they do business, and it's a lesson for free, and you making money at the same time. They're giving you lessons for free, and you're making money at the same time. So yes, I do recommend it. Like I said, it has worked for me. I don't say it may work for everybody. I don't want to promise anybody anything. But if you work for the right company and that company delivers everything they say they will, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
You are getting paid to learn, basically, and getting paid to grow instead of doing it from scratch. Because I do see a lot of companies. When I first started, I was trying to learn about direct versus subcontracting accounts. And when I started diving very deep, I actually love the subcontractor model. Mm-hmm. I like when the company's hybrid because that allows you to take deals of whatever size you want, really. Because you know that you have a sub that can do it. But some people, still a lot of companies, I think it's an ego thing, I don't know. They don't look at it like business. They look at, well, if it's not mine, then I don't want it. Like, but it's like you're not looking at your time. Because I bet it's easier to start a sub account than for you to like put your mental bandwidth into a direct account if they already have everything laid out. That's why you said like you have to work for the right contractor. Like,
you do. And also you have to look at the important part because I see a lot of people comment on Facebook, I don't have the money. They, to grow my business because they pay me 65 days later or 45 days later. When you work with a national companies doing subcontracting, when they say they're gonna pay, they're gonna pay. If they say, okay, we're gonna pay you 45 days, all right, 45 days. I know they're gonna pay me at 45 days. But if you are with a direct contract and they say I'm gonna pay you 45 days, they may and they may not, and you cannot oh my God, you cannot count with the money because you don't know if the money is gonna get to your bank account when they say they do. So to me, the experiences, I can say, I'm not gonna say 100% because I've been having my issues over there, but I would say out of my experience, 90% of that time, I've been paid on time with all of my national subcontractors that I've been doing. National companies, prime contractors that I've been working with. I have few bad experiences, but like I say, it's something that I was able to fix at that time, and walk away from whatever that
That's
company
actually kind
was.
of the cool part too, right? As a sub, you can just be like, "Oh man, I'm really struggling with this account. I really don't like it." All right.
That too, you have the option.
With direct, there's contracts, there's things get a little more.
Yeah, the company is also required to give your 30-day notice, just like if it was a regular customer. But you have that option, that say, okay, this isn't working out for me. Or you can also have the option to negotiate for more money. Like I'll say, oh, we already have you for 1 year there. Why we want us to seek a different vendor when we already have you there? So I'm going to give you a raise, all right,
Yeah.
So there is opportunities also to get more money. But like I say, in my experience, it has been, most of the part, very good experiences. And also have taken me to places that I never thought I will go with my own company. Yeah. I've been servicing, Walmarts, Targets. I'm not sure if this story is on your, on the state, Colorado, or, in Houston it is. And Cons Electronics, we used to have 27 locations. I used to have that one actually with my franchise. So, different companies take you to places that you may not be able to get with your own company because you're not as big or, you don't have the licenses to go there.
Yeah.
But I've been experiences a lot of exposure to different industries because of that as well, and I've been learning that.
I love the sub model. I have a friend in Houston that's a sub. Like, he's only a sub. He has one account, which is one big contractor, and that one big contractor gives him. He has a bunch of locations with him, right? Like, he's one of their preferred ones. So when I met him, for some reason, your brain, when you hear, "Oh, I'm a subcontractor," you think, "Oh, they probably don't make that much money then. They're just training." And then I started talking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I have 80 employees." And he's like, just in 5 buildings. And I'm like, "I'm sorry?" And then he's like, "Yeah, and I have 40 accounts. That's just one account." And I'm like, "Wait, I'm sorry, brother. How many employees do you have?" He's like, "Dude, I have over 200 employees with one contractor." But then I started doing the math in my brain, and I'm like, let's say this contractor is 200 million. 10% to one sub is 20 million. That's why, but again, you have to be smart. You have to do your research. You have to read the agreements. You have to see eye to eye with them. But I'm like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, if I started a cleaning business today, I would sub it. I would be a sub to the right people.
And see what happened, Angel. To me, is the best experience you can get from them, because they're trying systems that you may not be able to try because they're expensive, and you say, okay, they're already trying this, it's working out for them, let me try it too, you know. So you learn a lot of things. To me, it has helped me to grow my company as well. You know, that kind of model, that subcontracting model. And I'm not scared. I can say, if they ask me right now at company, "Hey, you wanna, work with us?" I will do it. I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, no, I don't want to do subcontracting anymore. I'm already big. I don't need them and nobody to do this."
Yeah, you hear that a lot.
Yeah, but I say no. If nobody wants, I take it. That's opportunity. Whenever people don't want it. So,
you just said something that I never thought about. As you're growing, you're right. As you're growing, there is some maybe equipment, maybe technology, maybe training. Maybe like so many things that cost a lot of money, certifications that you're like, I mean, I can't afford them now right now. But then they're like, well, I kind of need you to get this one. Hey, I kind of try this vacuum, try this software, try this inspection. And you're just like learning, like you're getting paid to learn.
Or let me just try this new style of building maybe.
Yeah,
right? Exactly. Hey, you want to give it a shot with us? Sure, I'll give it. And then when you go direct, you're like, oh, I have experience in all of these industries. Versus a lot of people go direct from scratch, or even when they have businesses and they're still like, "Oh no, I've never tried that. Oh, I've never done that." And it's like, you're actually holding yourself back. I'm a big believer of learning and experience. So that's cool. You're getting paid to learn.
You got to learn and earn in that.
Learn and earn, baby. Yeah. The new subcontractor masterclass by Raquel Medina. Learn and earn,
that's
baby.
Right. Learn and earn with Raquel.
That should totally be that's a good little. I should do that one. But yeah, no, I love your hybrid model. I love what you're doing.
Look at it this way also, Angel and James. It's like having a franchise. Why would you want to pay $30,000 for a name when you also can attach your name to a DBA with them and don't pay the royalty fee? Sometimes don't pay the insurance.
Very interesting.
And then they'll give you everything, like in here. Here's a building.
Yo,
go for it.
If somebody's thinking about opening a franchise, you're right. It's just like, or just go a sub.
Yeah.
Become a sub.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
I think that alone, I know for a fact that's going to get a lot of people are going to be like, oh. Because I have a lot of friends and we have a lot of cleaning companies that are like, oh, bro, we don't sub. And it's funny because I met the other one that I want to tell you, and he's like, oh, sure, I won't direct accounts, but you know what I actually want? He's like, I have a list of 20 contractors that I've vetted. I want to be their vendor, and I want a meeting with them. That's what I care about. He's like, because then I might get 20 projects. If I get it with enough vendors, it's like project, and they're all full-time. Like, he's like, and I'm like, huh. And he's chilling. Because he doesn't have to worry about the invoice and the collections, and they still got to pay him. And
I think
it's a win-win for both sides. The prime contractor does not worry about if their building is going to get clean, because you are more responsible than having a direct employee, because a direct employee will call, okay, I'm sick, I'm not going to work. However, when we are a subcontractor for them, we had to make it work. Doesn't matter who is sick, you have to go and cover that because that's the promise you made to them.
You have to clean, they have to pay.
Yeah. So, the owner, the prime contractor can go home, don't worry about it. Raquel or whoever, doing this, the same thing, they can deal with it. They can be up all night, not be in my bed sleeping. So it's an advantage, and in the future, I wanted to do that for my own company. I'm doing it now, of course, in a small amount, but I like that model, of course. And now that I went through an audit, with the Department of Labor, I have learned a lot too, how to go around and not make it look like it's an employee, or and even the Department of Labor told me, call us, we tell you if you're doing it right or wrong. We won't say anything. I mean, we're just gonna teach you how to do it. So I kind of also form a relationship with
so
that.
now you're leveraging it for your benefit. That's
so
awesome.
It's one thing that I like that model, but we need to know how to do it. It's a lot of, in this industry, it's kind of hard to go around, but there's always ways to do it. So I'm already using those ways, testing those ways to see if it's working out. But in the future, I wanted to only give, and this is just to give, at the same time, to give opportunities to the people, to feel like I wanted to grow also. I just don't want to be cleaning 2 buildings and going home and just having to pay my bills. I wanted to enjoy life too. I wanted to enjoy life like Raquel or like Dan, I wanted to do that. And I'm actually being more open to my people. I say, I don't want you to feel jealousy from me. I don't want you to feel that I'm not doing anything, that you're the only person that is working and I'm enjoying life. Actually, I'm working more hard than you. But whenever you feel like you want to grow, just come to me and say, Raquel, how you do all of this? How can you help me to become that? So now that I'm interviewing new teams, I always tell them, you have this opportunity with me. If you want to grow, let's grow together. If I do good, you're gonna do good, and if you do good, my customer is gonna be happy, and they're gonna assign us more contracts, and you're gonna get the contracts, and you're gonna form your own company. Together, we can make this happen. So, yeah, that's how I'm doing.
I know, right?
I wanted to do a network of good, strong people to take care of my company, and also me taking care of them.
Yeah, and then taking care of the clients.
Yes, and taking care of that.
Yeah.
At the end of that, is what they pay, right? The clients. So.
No, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
James, any final questions?
No, I just want to thank you.
Yeah.
I just want to start, and kind of finish where we started by giving gratitude to you, Raquel.
Thank you.
Were definitely one of the first ones that believed in us. I've always felt like you were not just a supporter of us, but a friend.
Thank you.
And just know that you have that in return from us.
Oh, yeah. No, and definitely I'm supporting your company because I believe in your company. I always tell people, I can see not only because what you have delivered to me about doing business with the power placing, but also your honesty all the time, the way you all carry yourselves, and also one thing that you share with me and other people is that the spiritual side, that you have that in both of you and your team, that you always encourage us to do good because you're all doing good, and you're always talking about God and how God is important in every life. And when God is in between a company in ourselves, it's because it's good, So that's what I give you my trust, because you're God believers, and I trust God's child. Children.
I'm glad we waited this long to interview the people we interviewed this time around. I'm glad we waited because a lot of you have started with us from the beginning. You were one of them, and we get to experience it like this, and not virtually. Not to talk bad about anybody that interviewed virtually and in the last one, but we're really grateful for you, and you deserve the best way to come into a podcast. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Y'all, if you want to explore the sub, if you're out in Texas and you want to be a sub, for We Clean, reach out to Raquel. We'll put her contact information below. Or if you're a facility manager and just want to give her some contracts, just go ahead and reach out to
y'all.
her. Take care of the contracts.
I go anywhere, believe me. I go from coast to coast. Let's put it that way.
She'll make it happen. Trust me. She'll make it happen. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all in the next Profitable Cleaner.
Thank you.
And that way he don't play like no way. So I gotta get out of